I have a foal that will be 7 months on the 27th. I need to get a halter on her, I need to lead her, and I need to get her hooves done. Any tips from your side would be highly appreciated. She is used to human interaction, but nothing else. And what will the next steps be? I really appreciate all your videos.
With your foal, with her being 7 months old like this, and she's not, let's say, it was called halter broke, okay? She doesn't know how to give to the pressure of the halter. What you're going to do is you're going to start the Foal training series that you would find on the Down Under Horsemanship app, but you're going to have to skip the stage of where we put the strings around the horse's neck and around their butt. See, when they're young babies, we'll take the string, we'll take 2 strings off of our stick and string, and we'll tie them off in a big loop, and we put one around their neck, around the base of their neck, and then we put one around their butt. And that's kind of what we use to teach them how to lead and give to pressure. And when we pull on their neck, come to me. When I pull on your butt, move your butt over, and so forth. But at 7 months old, they're getting a lot larger at that point. So the string's not going to be real effective for you. So what you need to do is, number one, you need to get it in a safe environment to begin with. You need to be doing this in a round pen or in a pen roughly the size of a round pen. We like a round pen 6 foot high, 50 feet in diameter, okay? You need to be somewhere where there's some soft sand. That way, if your baby rears up or if it falls over and loses his balance, if he falls down on the ground, he's not going to hurt himself. He's not out there on the gravel car park. He's not on the concrete of the alleyway of the barn, or he's not on on the mats in a horse stall where if he flips over, he can crash into the side of the stall and hurt himself. So number one, you need to find a way to get him to that area. I don't care what you do. I set up some panels and hurt him in there like a goat. For all I care, it doesn't make any difference. Just get him there, okay? Then what you need to do is you need to go to a halter that will fit him, one of our rope halters that will fit him, and you need to get a long line. The 23-foot long line is what I'm going to start with here. What I want to do is that long line has a ring on the end of it, and it basically works very similar to a lariat, where if you can feed the back of the tail of the lead rope back through there, and essentially that's what you make. You make like an adjustable loop, and you're going to put that around his neck, okay? On a horse like this, that's this old, that's never had any pressure around its face, the last thing I want to do is just strap the halter to its face and just start pulling on it, okay? Because it's a lot of pressure to take in all at once. So what using the long line will do for you is essentially what it does is we're just teaching the horse to give to the pressure around its neck. The nice thing about that long line is that ring is big enough that every time you release the pressure, it will open itself back up. So it's not like a lot of lariats where when it kind of cinches down, it stays cinched down, because that would be bad for the horse because they don't get a release of pressure when they do something correct. And what you're going to do in that round pen is you're going to get to the end of that long line in the round pen, get her in the center, get that rope on around her neck. What you're going to do is you're going to step off to the side at a 90-degree angle, and you're just going to gently pick up on that long line. And you're going to teach her how to just turn and give you 2 eyes. Step 1 is turn and give me 2 eyes. The reality of that is the first step is just give. I'm teaching the horse how to give to pressure. We're going to do that on both sides until there's just no resistance there whatsoever. As soon as we start to kind of pull on that rope or comb that long line, she immediately turns, moves her feet, and gives to you. Okay, if she runs backwards, if she pulls against you, if she runs forward, try your best to stay at that 90-degree angle, but keep that pressure on. Don't increase the pressure, just keep that pressure on until she comes off of that pressure. So we're not trying to lead her when we're doing what we're doing right now. We're not trying to lead her whatsoever. We're just trying to teach her how to give to the pressure of the long line. Once she can do that, this is going to take you a couple of days to get this done to where there's just no resistance there whatsoever. Once she can do that, then you can move on to the stages in that Foal training series where we talk about actually putting the halter on. Once the horses have the basics of just give to the pressure around their neck, we need to move on to teaching the horse to give to the pressure around his poll and his nose, which is what the halter is going to do, okay? So you can start practicing putting that halter on and off. Practice that until he's really comfortable with it. Believe it or not, this is a bigger issue than you might think on a young foal because they've never had anything go over their nose like that. So before you ever even get to the halter, you can practice that with the slack of that long line. You can put a little loop in it and just practice putting it up and over his nose, practice kind of putting it around his nose and just kind of gently pulling it. So he's got a concept of what that's going to feel like when you go put that halter on. This is very similar to what we would do with a wild horse. Very, very similar. It's an adult horse, and it's going to resist a lot more. Very similar process, okay? And then you would do something very similar with the halter. Once that halter is on, you're going to snap that long line up. I keep saying the long line over the lead rope because a foal oftentimes, when they feel resistance around their face, are going to want to run backwards. And running backwards for a foal is really close to rearing up, okay? Baby foals, when they resist you, that is their first go-to. They run backwards, and when that doesn't get away with it, then they want to rear up in the air, okay? I keep saying the long line because I need some room to let that rope slide through my hands a little if it runs backwards. I don't want to cinch down and fight him. I'm not trying to force him to do anything. I'm trying to just teach him how to give to some pressure. So the 23-foot long line is a great tool for that because there's lots of room, especially in a 50-foot round pen. There's plenty of room to let him run backwards in there where he doesn't accidentally hit a hard pull on that rope because you just run out of lead rope and you don't want him to get away from you, okay? And then you would go through a similar process with a halter. You'd teach him how to give you two eyes. Then you'd start kind of walking around to his hindquarters, teach him how to yield his hindquarters. You notice we haven't said lead yet. The leading will come with time, okay? But without going into, it'd be a very lengthy conversation to go into exactly all the steps of what to do, but I highly recommend you reference the foal training, use the tips that we just described there, and that'll get you started on the right track.
Take your horsemanship to the next level. The No Worries Club Premium membership is your ultimate portal to complete your horse training. You'll have access to Clinton's complete training library, thousands of hours of step-by-step instructional videos. You'll master all aspects of horsemanship, from fundamentals to trick training. You'll have access to our exclusive social network that connects you with thousands of dedicated horsemen from around the world. You'll have the method available wherever you are and accessible through the web, your phone and tablets, or your favorite streaming devices. You'll receive 8 all-new training videos per year and the quarterly No Worries Journal, as well as access to the ever-growing video library, Q&As, performance horse series, blogs, and more. But that's not all. You also get free tickets to walkabout tours and priority access to the latest news coming from Down Under horsemanship. Not to mention VIP pricing on all of Clinton's must-have training tools. So what are you waiting for? Unlock the ultimate access and jumpstart your training program today.